Well, hello, everyone. Today we're talking with Jessica Beshir. She's a director of the film Faya Dayi, which is part of our main program. The film had a wonderful run across the festivals. Of course, we talked with Jessica before that she didn't have a chance to take part in the festivals in person, but we're very happy to have her online and have a chance to talk to her. So, hello, Jessica.
Hi, Ona. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I wish I was there. I wish I was there, but thank God for this possibility as well. That we're able to connect, and I really thank you for having me. Yeah.
Mm. So, the first question I have is while I was watching Fire Die, I kept wondering about the slow-moving and gloomy atmosphere that you were creating and its relationship to cat itself, to the plant. Maybe you could tell us a bit more about the effects and the myth of the plant and how it maybe shaped your film and the structure of your film.
Wow. Okay. So, cat cat has been around for centuries, and people used to use it for, especially the Sufi imams, Sufi Muslims in Harar. They used to use it for their ascetic meditations. It would keep them up all night, and then they could offer that, in prayer and in chant, to God. So that has changed today, but I was really interested in, especially like the fable or the fantasy, not the fantasy, but the mythology behind, the plant. It's sort of, like they have a Genesis story, just as any medicinal plant, that exists around the world. This is also one of those. And it has a very specific story that everyone, in Harar is very, very aware of. Everyone knows it. It's almost like it's been passed, oral history. And so if you ask anyone, everybody knows about the story of Azur Karleni and how I was fascinated by the whole story of the chat, of the leaf, came from the fear of this imam. One day fear enters him and he prays to God, why do I have this fear? I'm ready to die, I believe, and so forth. And God tells him, you need to go and find the water of eternal life, Ma'ul Hayat. And so he goes on this journey to find, that water. So basically the journey is almost like a way of dispelling, or it's almost like a searching for the medicine that will take your fear away. Mm-hmm. So I really love that idea, and connecting it to the present in a way. What does water mean to us today? Our lakes are drying, mm-hmm. And also not just that, but in the mind also of a lot of our youth, they're thinking of those waters, those seas, crossing those seas, either the Mediterranean or the Red Sea, in search of better opportunities, in search of life, or running away from, political oppression. So those ideas were the ones that I was thinking of when I put this together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think when I was watching the film, also I was thinking about the structure of it, and I think it's connected to what you just said. And it's somehow, for me, I thought it had this circularity to it. Like at the beginning of the film, we see a man lying down and chewing cud, and then at the end of the film, we also see the same man, and so it kind of creates this impression of repetitiveness. And I was reading some of your interviews, and in one of them, I read that the notion of time is very different in Ethiopia than in the West. And could you maybe tell us a bit more, and maybe it reflects in your film as well, in the montage and the rhythm?
Yeah, I truly was interested in thinking about the form of the film. I would really wanted to attempt or try for this rhythm and form to reflect the outlook on life, to reflect again that circularity, and that circularity, truly even starts from just the motion of prayer, you know what I mean, of the Sufis, there's that. There's also, that idea that time is just is a never ending, there's no ending and there's no beginning. And so where do you find the ending and the beginning? And also in bringing this myth of the water of eternal life, these are transgenerational oralities that have existed and continue to exist today. There's no sort of like beginning, middle, and end as we are taught of thinking about structure in a way. So for me, I truly wanted to reflect that this is sort of like the way that we're thinking about time. Time has its own way of existing. People there, for example, especially, I'm talking about the Sufis. They have a very particular way of thinking about time, and in the way how it reverberates across spaces, the temporality of a space itself. So that was, to me, so beautiful, and also more real and more calming in a way for life in itself, because this way of dividing the past, present, future, so that it can be contained within a certain structure. It doesn't feel real even to me, because as we're walking around in our lives, all these, either whether it's memories or desires or anything, they don't come like compartmentalized. Okay, Jess, now you're about to have a memory. Okay, now you're about to, they just come unannounced, and they all exist, in one. And I feel like we are, we are all of those things together all at once. So again, in the form, I try to reflect that a little bit.
This is a very beautiful answer, actually. I could feel it watching the film, that you succeeded in what you wanted to do. I feel like that. So
thank you.
And you mentioned, now you talked about existing together, like in the same way, like having the same kind of mythology behind ourselves. And I was also thinking about the community that we see in the film, because it seems quite divided. We see, men, then separately we see young people, and we see women, but they only occasionally meet in the same room, so to say, like they connect. And it seems like they have their own separate worlds or modes of being. And would you say maybe cut industry and the chewing of the plant influences the way that the community operates? Does it maybe hold up some kind of barriers between people in Ethiopia?
Chat is because we call it chat in Harar. I don't know why they write it cat, but I mean that's the way we go. But we call it chat. People, the chat encompasses a world of experiences. It means different things to people. For example, it is an economic force. It creates an incredible amount of employment, as you can see in the film. For a lot of women also, it has brought a lot of economic independence, if you may, but for the youth, in a way, I also wanted to think about how it tugs onto the social fabric of the community. There is a lot of youth that feel the unemployment is super high right now, and they truly feel like they are chewing away time. They kill time because it's almost like killing your frustration, and not being able, or not having the opportunity or the possibility, and like truly like numbing that potential that you have, and so I wanted to speak of, the different experiences that people have with chat. And also I was interested in like, okay, so chat has existed forever, in our lives, we grew up with it, but why in the past, almost 3 decades, the output has completely exploded. Right now, the whole Harer, the economy evolves around chat. So it was a way of asking, why are we medicating? What's going on? Why is our youth medicating so much, right now? And sort of, it was a way of, for us to start a conversation, with ourselves, and to also, consider the choices that our youth is contending with, leaving in those treacherous roads. These are the kids that we end up losing, that we end up bleeding, so I wanted to have a moment with that.
Yes, I was thinking about it as well, about this leaving the country topic that you touched upon, and it seems like the political situation and the economic situations in Ethiopia today is still really difficult, because as you said, young people especially, are trying to get on these very perilous and dangerous roads to crossing the waters and just leaving. So I'm just thinking about what is the alternative if they were to stay in Ethiopia.
I don't know anyone that just wants to leave just because, truly. People would love to stay. Most of the people that I know, back in Harar, they really love their country, we want to stay. Unfortunately, throughout the years, the country has gone through a lot of, violent political changes. And so, and with that comes these, oppressive systems in a way, where people try to find solutions, and for them, a personal solution would be to exit.
What can you say to that, actually?
And
in our time.
It is a state of our time, but it also, for me, it just brings back all the reverberation, because I left the country because of the same reasons, It's almost like the country ejects you in a way, and talking about that circularity of time, but also thematically, how we're revisiting the same, and now these kids are even younger. When Mohammed tried to leave, he was barely 14. We have kids leaving, that are 10. So yeah.
That's really young.
Oh my God, yes.
And they go on their own?
Like they're almost like daily, they're little caravans, and you just go with them. There's at the same time human trafficking, because these kids are so unattended, and they're so young, and they're so impressionable in a way. They tell them that they're going to take them for free, but in reality, sometimes, they're using them for organ trafficking. It's truly devastating. But at the end of the day, for me, again, all of this war and all of these political displacement and the pain that it causes, I really wanted to be able to offer this film so that we can have a conversation about it.
And I think in a way, it is only possible when you connect with the people in the film really well, because you managed to do that, I believe. I mean, when I was watching it, I was very impressed by how intimate those moments and thoughts and conversations are. And I kept wondering if they were the people that you knew maybe from before you left, some of those people, or what all of them were new to you. How did you meet them? How did you invite them into your film, or maybe they approached you while being there?
Yeah, well, first, the people that I started to talk, about this possibility of making this project about were people that I knew from the past. I still have some of my school friends that are living there, and once, the intention, I set out that intention, I started meeting so many farmers that actually knew my father, So a lot of the imams that I met, most of them, they knew my father, and then became, I want to call them my friends, because, we just hang out together. I love spending time with them, They are very much, they're just like healing. They're like teachers, So it came mostly from the relationships that my father had created. My father is a doctor, and he dealt a lot, in the farming community as well. So people know him, and so truly he created that space and opportunity for them to somehow embrace, what I was doing, and truly lead the way, because this film would not be possible without them. It was them, and with time, stories started to emerge. Many of them. But yeah, so I tried to sort of give shape to that time that had transpired, within 10 years.
So I think we're running out of time, but I still have one question that is not connected too much to what we talked before, but that was very interesting to me. I was very, very intrigued by the sound design and the music that we heard in the film. And could you tell us a bit more about it? Maybe is music in general an important part of Ethiopian culture? And were those songs that we heard, maybe they were traditional working songs, or ritualistic or religious songs?
Yeah. Oh, well, I will just start by that. I feel like the country is incredibly musical. To begin with, that chant, or that harvesting hymn that they sing while they're working. I didn't understand what that meant, Faya Dayi, because that's the title of the film, Faya Dayi, I didn't understand what it meant, but it just really did something for me. And everything is like call and response, there's someone that tells a story and people respond, everything is that. So I really love that, I wanted to bring that into the film. But then when I heard what it meant, and because it means, give birth to wellness, give birth to health, be good, be safe, it's like an encouraging, So I really realized how much that song itself had been encouraging me in my own project to keep going for as long as I needed to do to finish this film, So there is that. And again, the orality and the musicality of the culture for me is everything. It has repositories of almost like medicine, healing, in a lot of ways. So yeah, that was very important, because that also dictates the rhythms, that dictates the movement also of the film and where it's going. And of course, listening to William Basinski, again, for me, that's medicine. And Adrian Agnew, it is incredibly healing. These people are healers for me. So, or Keita Hosseter that I met a long time ago. These are composers that I ended up, working with in this film is amazing. And Mahandis Galeto, who's also, he's the singer, it's his voice, throughout the film. But all of these things ended up, coming into the project sort of on their own. So it just always felt guided in a way. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jessica, so much for taking your time and talking to me and to our audiences. And I hope we'll see you with your next project when it comes.
Ona, thank you. No, my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.